But don't let that ever stop you, because if you listen to most people who have accomplished certain things in their life, they talk about the failures that come and the mistakes that come. What I am about to talk about today, everyone who has ever lived who wanted to accomplish something meaningful had to do this one very thing in order for them to get it done. And if you have ever wanted something so bad and just could not seem to reach it, this episode is for you, because today we're going to talk about that ugly word, goal setting. In other words, becoming me and how to get goals you really actually want to keep. And if you ever made a goal, got excited about it, started strong, and then somehow found yourself weeks later wondering what happened, well, this conversation is for you. So stay with me until the end, because today we are talking about one of the biggest reasons people do not see real change or see results, or you stay stuck and frustrated and end up being disappointed with yourself. We are talking about that word again, or two words, goal setting. Hey, my Mama Faye family, come on in. Your journey has brought you here. Take a seat and relax, because the next couple of minutes will change your life. Let me introduce myself to some. I am Mama Faye, and I am on this mission to help elevate men, well, really women, but the few men that want to come along who are becoming women, and the few men who are growing into themselves in real time, and who hold their families, their careers, and relationships together, all while trying to navigate this life. So I bring my lived experience as a wife, a mom, a nurse, a leader, a coach, a woman who has walked through many of these seasons in my own life. And guess what? I am still walking through them right now. And sometimes it's really hard. It's really tough. But what I'm talking about today is what's going to keep us on this path called life. And it's going to help us to accomplish some of the things that we want to really accomplish. Now, this podcast is for women and a few men who know that they are becoming and are ready to understand what that really means. Now, when we talk about goal setting, we're not talking about dream setting, because we all got a dream. We're not talking about wish setting, like I wish one day this is going to happen. No, goal setting that actually work in real life for busy people with responsibilities, careers, families, bills, stress, and limited time to get things done, need to be doing this type of goal setting. Because becoming is not about having good intentions. When you want to become a thing, it is about creating a life that matches who you are growing into. So this week, we are getting down to how these goals work and how to set a realistic goal that you're going to be able to keep, and then how to stay on task without getting distracted. Now, the importance of setting a time to get it done also is a part of the goal setting, and I'm going to call that, you may hear me refer to that as time frames. And that's what I mean. You want to set a time that you want to actually accomplish this goal, because what that does is it helps keep you on track. And coming up with a daily or a weekly or a monthly routine, because this is the key word to goal setting. You got to set a routine in order to accomplish your goal. And then we always have to have a way to identify and check to see where we are from as to where we want to go. And then we make all the necessary adjustments that we need to make in order to stay on track. And the most important part of it all is then we get to celebrate the small wins until we get the big win. All right. So A goal also gives you direction because, like I said, we can wish for a thing, we can have good intentions, we can dream about things, sit and you dream about all the wonderful things that you want to happen in your life, and that's great. But a goal gives you direction. It's like a GPS. You have to put in your destination. The GPS don't know where you want to go. You got to put the destination into the GPS. And then you can drive all day. But if you don't have that destination, you would never arrive where you're trying to go. So you get it? So here goes some examples. Saving $1,000. Losing 10 pounds, starting a business, writing a book, paying off debts, spending more time with family. Why is goal setting important? Because it helps you to stay focused in a world that is constantly changing every day, and sometimes it looks like it's changing every minute. And you use that time wisely so that you can make better decisions. And what happens is that you end up reducing some of your stress. And when you see some small wins, it builds your confidence. And it is a way to track your progress and create the life finally that you always wanted to live. Now, people who write down goals and review them regularly are more likely to actually achieve the goal that you've been wanting to. It starts with a dream, but now it has to turn into a goal. Why so many goals fail? Many people fail because sometimes they start the goal and they try to make it so big until it becomes impossible, and they are not able to see it happen, and so they get discouraged and it falls away instead of setting small goals to get them to the big goal. Also, sometimes there's no deadline. It's going to happen whenever it happens. You can even have a goal that has a long range goal. I encourage people to have long range goals as well. I have a few long range goals, but at some point it has to have a deadline as to when you want to see this accomplished. Because if you don't, then you have no plan. It's really not a goal. And some don't have a plan of how they're going to accomplish it. I have a goal to do a certain thing. We just went about a goal to save $1,000. But if I don't have a plan put together, I'm never going to see that $1,000 being saved. And then there's the distraction. Sometimes you're well-meaning, you have a goal, you have the deadline, you have a plan, but sometimes we get distracted and we get off those goals. And that's why I encourage you to write down the goals, because you'll eventually forget and then you won't know where you left off at. But when you do the goal setting that I'm talking about today, you can always go back and pick up your plan and continue on. And another thing is many don't track their progress. So you don't know where you are in the process of that goal. So you don't know whether you're still at the beginning or whether you're almost at the end. And some give up after they make mistakes. Yes, with goal setting, there are going to be mistakes. There are going to be setbacks. That's a part of trying to accomplish a goal. But don't let that ever stop you, because if you listen to most people who have accomplished certain things in their life, they talk about the failures that come and the mistakes that come. A lot of times we laugh at them, and it sounds funny when they're talking about it, but they are real mistakes and real failures that the person had to go through in order to achieve what it was they wanted to achieve. So success is not about being perfect. It is about staying consistent. And next week, we're going to talk about those goal blockers. And some of these are going to be some of the things that we're really going to talk about because they're real. it happens. Life gets to lifing. And so a lot of times these things will come and they will cause us to get off those goals or to put them away and not take them back out again. All of these things can happen. But I want you to ask yourself, when you want to start a goal or you want to see certain things in your life, these are the things that you need to, and I have to ask myself every day. And especially when I'm looking at my goals, is this something that I can really do? Do I have the time for this? Do I have the resources I need for it? And can I break it into smaller steps? Because these are key in setting our goals. And then what we have to do is make our goal specific. We have to get the goal to be a little bit more clear and easier to follow, because sometimes it's so complicated and some goals actually have multiple steps to it. And so when you start to do the goal planning part of it, you're going to realize that, oh, wait a minute, I got to go all the way back here and start here, because I'm not going to be able to get there especially if it's a goal that you have no clue of how to get into. You're going to have to put it in phases and multiple steps. And then the goal, as we talked about, need deadlines, because a dream without a deadline is going to be just something that you wish, or just it's going to stay a dream. And why do time frames? Remember we said time frames, that word? Why does it work? Because when you set a deadline, it helps you to stay focused and avoid procrastination. Because boy, when it's something that, there are parts of your dream that are part of your goal that you don't really want to have to do. And so what we'll do is we'll try to put it off. I know that because there are some things that I don't all necessarily like that part of the goal. So a lot of times I try to put that off. And so what that does is when I know I have a deadline to meet, it makes me have to force me to have to look at that and get that done. And then we have to measure. And that's the part that a lot of us leave off. We do not set aside a time, whether it's once a month, whether it's every 6 months, whether it's once a year, to actually measure our progress of where we are with the goals that we have set. So, and then I want to also let us know that we have to also put in it motivation, ways to stay motivated, and so that we can finish what we started. Because successful people schedule their goals. They don't leave them to chance, because you can't. It's certain things that you and I, that we want to see happen in our lives. We have to set it, and we can't leave it to chance. So how do we do that? We have to create daily routines, because our daily actions really actually helps us to accomplish it. So what do I have to do every day, or once a week, or even for some people once a month? I prefer daily, because those daily actions help create the success, and it helps you to stay on focus and stay on task. But if you can't, do it once a week. And then also too is creating these monthly routines, because what happens at the end of each month, you need to review your wins, your challenges. You need to celebrate the little progress that you made. Maybe you got the certificate that you needed in order to get to the goal that you wanted to do. Or maybe you passed the class because you're trying to get a degree. Or maybe you was able to set up the LLC part of getting the business started. So these little small wins are things that help keep you excited about what you're doing and help keep you on task. So setting those next month's priority, after you look through where you are, you can also prioritize what I need to do next. All right, and then stay focused. Work on one goal at a time. Sometimes you have to prioritize those goals because maybe one is more important because this one is going to get you to be able to do the other goals. Sometimes your first goal may be having the money and the resources or having the education about what it is that you want to do in order for you to be able to go to step 2. So staying focused, turning off all of those distractions, and using a calendar, whether it's going to be on your phone or whether it's going to be a written down calendar or both. Whatever it takes for you to remember what your daily priorities are going to be. And then what's powerful is scheduling that goal time. Maybe for you it'll be every Monday. Some of us, Mondays are not a good day for us. So sometimes we have to set up Tuesdays to be the day that we're going to look at our goals for the week. But it's very important to have that time that you're going to be looking at those goals. And then the power of weekly check-ins, because that's the same thing as when you're going to schedule. These check-ins have to happen at least every week, but for some people you may have to move it to every month. And of course you're going to go through, are you moving forward? Am I stuck? And what small steps can I take in order to get myself back on track? Because sometimes you got to get back on track. All right. And then finally, we talks about celebrating those wins, because most people wait until the end to celebrate, but don't do it. Celebrate the day that you make those small wins. This goal setting is something like this. You are in a classroom as a teenager. Let's say it's your senior year and you're in the class, and all during the year you sort of sat in the back with the class clown, and they, you know how they pick at all the other kids in the class and they make jokes, and you sit there and you laugh, and you get caught up in all of the things that's going on in the classroom, how she looked, how she's that, how he did that, the teacher looked funny, all of the stuff that you're doing in the back of the class. But there comes a time when it's time to graduate, and you realize in order for you to graduate, you're going to have to buckle down. You're going to have to get some things done. It is up to you at that point as to whether you're going to sit in the back of the class and be with the class clown or the class clown and end up not graduating, or you're going to get up and start setting some goals and move to the front of the class and pay attention, do all of the goal settings, set time frames, get your work in order for you to graduate. So life is like that classroom. You are determining whether you are going to graduate and whether you're going to the next level or whether you're going to get left behind. The decision is up to you and I. So the goal setting is very, very important. And now let's do our Becoming Me goal check-in for those of us who are on our path of becoming. Now this week, the becoming goal that I am working on is I am making some assessments where I am with my goals, because it's been 6 months, and I am making some adjustments to some of those goals and changing some of the time frames. And I'm also identifying where I missed it, because some of them I'm not where I want to be on those particular goals. So I have to sit down and do the necessary adjustments for those ones that I am missing. And then I have to do a simple step to jumpstart myself again on those particular goals. And then there are others that I've made some progress, I've made some gains, and so those are the ones that I will continue to do what it is that I need to do in order to see that goal happen. So this week, I'm reviewing each goal. I'm looking at my checklist of how I'm going to accomplish it to see what I have completed and what I'm working on and what I have not begun. And I'm going to make the necessary adjustments. And That is how we do this goal setting and stay on this goal. And I'm looking at uh, also, I'm looking at this week at other long range goals that I have set as well. Because when you become a goal setter, you not only just start doing goals for the immediate, but you also have long range goals as well. So from time to time, you need to take those out as well. Now, I also want to check in with you. And where are you with your goal setting and becoming goals this week? Have you made any progress? Did you complete a goal? Did you take one step forward? And if so, we congratulate you. And so many people have graduated. This is the time of year when people are graduating from kindergarten, mid school, like sixth grade. Some are graduating from high school, college, master's, doctorate. Some people have gotten certifications. So we salute you, those of you who that was one of your things. And whatever it is that you have set a goal, maybe it was something that you wanted to do in your life, that you wanted personal goals. We didn't talk about like personal growth goals that you may want to accomplish, like stop procrastinating. That was one that I used to have to deal with when I was younger. And I had learned how to set certain things in my life in order for me to stop procrastinating. So I am proud of you, because too many women and a few men who are really, really busy, we rush past our accomplishments and never stop to acknowledge how far we've come. So I want you to take a moment today and recognize your growth, whatever, how small or how big. And for those of you who have not started yet, I want to ask you a question. What becoming goal are you willing to start this week? I need you to start and sit down and actually do it. You're probably procrastinating, but now I need you to do it. Not next month, not someday, but sit down, whether it's today or this week, set aside a time. And if this is new to you, just give yourself one goal. Make it the priority goal that you prioritize. Make that your goal. And one step and one action and one commitment that you're willing to make. Because becoming is not something that is going to happen. Remember, you have to participate in it. So, your future self is waiting on the decisions that you will make today. So start small, and just whatever you do, start. Now, for those of you who, if this has really helped you today, or you have said to yourself, I really do want to set some goals, or I had some goals that I did set, I put them aside, I felt I wasn't going to be able to accomplish it. Maybe some crisis happened in your life. Maybe something, had stopped you from doing your goals. And maybe right now you might be in a crisis. And we're going to talk about that next week, about goal blockers and crises and all of those things, because that's very real. But we want to stay with you, and we want to encourage you, because we're going to help you. Eventually, we're going to get you back on track. So I want you to leave a comment and let me know what you are becoming and what goals you are working on. And you can reach me on substack.com and send me a message about your becoming goals. I really want to hear from you, and I've heard from some of you, and thank you for commenting, and thank you for letting me know that what I'm doing is really helping you. And I want to hear from those of you also who are growing, building, healing, learning, and creating new chapters in your life as well. But before I go, I also want to make sure that you subscribe to the Motivate Moment by Mama Faye on Substack.com. And find this particular podcast, because I have 3, and it would be great to sign up for all 3 of them, because they're all different types of podcasts, and they all speak to something different. But this Mama Faye Becoming Me podcast is all about goal setting, becoming the thing that you want to become. So it is designed for you to grow in every season of your life. And the episodes will be delivered to you directly, especially if you become a paid subscriber. But also, you can subscribe for free to the Becoming newsletter, because that's going to be a part of what I talk about each week. I put it in the newsletter, and I try to give you additional information. Sometimes I'll put some of the information that I talk about during the podcast for those of you who really want that information and going to follow up on it. And I just gave you the steps to creating a goal, whether you realize it or not. So if you go to that newsletter, you can just print out those goals and of how to create a goal, rather, and you can use that to help you with your goal setting if this is new to you, or if it's a way that you want to learn how to do it a little bit more different. And that's pretty much a process that I just gave you. And I also have the Mama Faye Becoming Me goal. It's a goal journal that I have. And for those of you who subscribe for free, you can actually download that goal setting journal, and you can start putting your goals on that. And I'm excited because I just put together a new, more definitive guided goal journal that I put together, and that is going to be on Barnes and Noble, and you'll be able to actually get a journal, and I'll let you know when that will be available to purchase, and you can get that one as well to further help guide you through that process. And it's about a year journal that you can use that will be more of a guide for you, because I want you to be successful in learning how to goal set. And for those of you who listening, you can listen to this podcast on MOMAFEY-HT.podbean.com, and you can listen across 8 or more podcast platforms like YouTube, Spotify, and you also can listen Pandora and Amazon. So it's a lot of different places where you can listen. For more information, please visit MOMAFEY-HT.com. And don't forget to follow me, MOMAFEY-HT, across most social media platforms. And that is where you will hear some of the things that I'm doing. And I also do a live conversation with Mama Faye. I would love for you to become a part of that as well. And I do them on Thursdays. So if you set your notifications, you will know. And I usually go live on Facebook, Substack, and YouTube. So you can catch that as well. And I usually follow it up on Twitch as well. So I want you to remember that becoming is not about being perfect. It is about becoming something and being intentional. So I want to thank you for listening today. That is all for now, and I will see you.
Are you really ready for this? And you're not even trying to fight for yourself.
Yeah.
I know. It wasn't your fault. You got to take some action.